One. Hello, everyone, and welcome to a new episode of Empowering Voices. Today, we have a special guest all the way from Canada, and she's Diane. Welcome. We are so happy and proud to have you here. How are you?
I'm good. Thank you so much for having me. This will be fun.
Well, I think it's, among the many things you do, you are a podcaster as well. So today I'm on the other side. So as you all know, we always start the conversation from the words that resonate the most with my guests. And today we chose Live with Passion. For those of you who are watching as well, this is the t-shirt that you can always find on my website. But let's not waste more time on this, but let's listen everything from Diane. Diane, please introduce yourself. Tell us who you are, why these words resonate with you, and much more during the conversation.
Okay, I am Diane Foy, and I help multi-passionate artists, musicians, actors embrace their authenticity, their creativity, their purpose, so that they can attract fans, media, and industry, and so they can make a greater impact in income and share their talents with the world. And I love the live with passion, right?
Yes.
The live with passion, because I think too many people don't.
Mm-hmm.
I think too many people push their passions aside and go with what's expected of them.
Mm-hmm.
What's, they kind of figure, oh, we need a secure job, whatever I can get, I'll just live with it. And then they kind of are not living with passion. Yeah. And it's okay if that's your values, if your values are family and security and all that. But if you're a creative and you're a very passionate person, it's empowering to live with passion.
Definitely. And also, it doesn't mean that one thing excludes the other. Your
right.
Can still be the family and the secure job, but to put passion in whatever you do is something different, right? But many people tend to procrastinate the moment to live with passion. And sometimes we don't have enough time to do it.
Well, that's why I love coaching, because I can help you. I've had many careers in the creative fields, and there always is a way to make a living at it. Like a lot of people just assume they got to struggle. They can't make money at this. But there are ways. And sometimes it's ourselves that are holding us back. It's our own limiting beliefs. It's our comfort zone that we have to acknowledge, work through, and push our comfort zone, because it also comes back to how bad do you want it?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, sure.
If
without much passion you want it. Yeah.
Sorry?
Without much passion you want it.
Yes. And it depends. If this is what you want more than anything, then it's important to really explore what's holding you back.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of artists kind of say, if you ask them what's holding them back, they'll say, oh, I don't have an agent, I don't have a manager, I don't have money for marketing, and like they're just excuses.
Yeah, I think you hear many of those, because I suppose that in this field there are even more limiting beliefs, especially because we are educated to think that about the starving artist and about the never having success. The success is not for everyone. You cannot make money from something that you love. So there are many of these limiting beliefs, I suppose.
Yeah. And if you really explore them, what it is that's holding you back, and when you push your comfort zone, it gets easier.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I've definitely had to push my own. I'm an introvert. I've always worked with performers. So I was a photographer, I was a makeup artist, I was a publicist, and all of that is behind the scenes and pushing the artists out there.
Yes.
That's your job, to go out there and be the public figure. But things have changed. So now, no matter what you do for a living, it's social media.
Exactly.
You have to put yourself out there, especially if you're your own business. You're the face of your business. You're the face, you are your brand. And
it's not easy, and it's not always easy. I remember my first video live on Instagram. It took me, apart several years, of course, of my life to get ready, but 1 week of, I have to do it. I have to push myself. It was very difficult. Of course, then you realize it's not that terrible thing, but it's common that you find even that being difficult, let alone taking pictures of yourself or showing yourself at work, or, I mean, almost the intimate part of your job.
Yeah, and sharing your story and sharing vulnerability. Now that's all into it too, because it's all, you want to make a connection with people. And if you're just all business, or even if it's art, it's like, this is my art speaks for itself. There's plenty of artists out there now, like, you know, and so how are you gonna make yourself unique? How are you going to stand out in the field of all kinds of artists, and a lot of them just doing it as a hobby, but a lot of them, there's a lot of artists. And if someone was choosing between the one that you don't really know much about, okay, I like their work, but there's no connection. And then there's someone whose work you love equally, but they're out there, they're talking to you, they're sharing their story, they're saying things that really connect to you.
Yeah, exactly. Where the distance is not that wide anymore. Because we exactly because of social media, where everything can be fake, where everything is can be perfect. Exactly for that, we need then the real people behind and the feelings, because eventually we don't buy the product ever or the service. We buy the feeling, and the feeling, you have it only through people talking to you, right?
Yeah, and I've even had artists tell me that excuse of why they don't go on social media, because it's all fake. It's all, well, you have control over what you put out there.
Exactly. So, it can be all fake because you have that possibility, you have that chance because you are behind the screen, but still people realize that. And they don't want the
put
fake.
Out fake things then. Like,
it's not worth it.
You have control of that. You can put out who you really are, and having a perfectly aesthetically pleasing feed, nobody cares about that anymore. That was a few years ago, what everyone kind of strived for that. Now it's like, especially because now it is more video focused. Your feed's going to be all wonky anyways, so don't worry about it.
Exactly. Just go out there and show yourself for whoever you are, and your art, of course, or whatever you do in life with passion. That is the key eventually.
And I do find it's more visual artists hide even more than the performing artists, obviously, because the performing artists, they're used to having you know, photos for their promotion, their headshots.
Let's say that they are more prepared, that they have material to put out there, professional material.
They need to have this. They know they need to put the face out there. But visual artists, I find, they hide even more, because if you go to their Instagram feed, a lot of them are just art, you know, just art. And again, I would want to see, well, who are you? Like, yes, show me your art. Tell me stories about your art. Tell me why this matters to you. And then also share photos of yourself too. Like, tell me stories and make me connect with you and why you do this. That's going to make me love the art even more.
But that's why we need people like you, a coach, to tell us how to do it. Because I think it's very difficult to get there, I mean, rationally, we know, right? But between knowing and doing it, there's a big difference.
Yes. And that's why, like, I have a process, and I can also say that I'm an introvert. I've had to push my own self through this. And so I have, you know, a step-by-step process to get you there. And when I was a publicist, this is kind of how I got into coaching, because so many artists would come to me as a publicist. They have an art show coming up. They got a part in a film. They have new music coming out. Okay, I need a publicist.
Mm-hmm.
But then they wouldn't really have the social media following. They wouldn't really have an interesting bio. They would have that typical bio of so-and-so is from such and such and they do art. You know, and it's like, I can't get you press with that. It doesn't matter how talented you are. The media especially has changed, that it's harder and harder to get press coverage. So you need to do all these things. And then I would say, well, I can't help you with publicity. I need you to go figure out your branding, figure out who you are. What is
find yourself first.
Go find yourself and then get your social media up and then come back. And then I realized that they don't know how to do that. Like,
so there was that gap.
The gap
that you found.
They're like, I don't know how to do that.
Yeah.
And also maybe that's the reason why they thought, okay, I don't know how to do this. Hire a marketing pro, hire a publicist, and they'll do it. And with coaching, I can say, I can help you get there.
Mm-hmm.
And so even if people come to me and they want to skip the deep personal inner work and get to teach me social media tips and publicity, it's like, it's not going to work. You have to do the work. You have to, and it's deep personal work. So I get why you want to skip it, but it's so important. It makes the rest easier if you take the time to figure out what you really want. And why do you want it? Why is this important to you? Why is your work important to you? What is your purpose in life? You know, that driving force that makes you not go get that real job. You know, what is that? And define it. And also addressing those limiting beliefs that are holding you back. And if it is like an outsized thing that's holding you back, well, then let's figure that out. If it's something you have to learn, let's go learn it. Let's go, you know, and also the people that say they need an agent, they need a whatever. My process, I want to get you so that they're attracted to you. So
you don't never to waste time to look for them, but the other way around.
Yeah. And also because they get pitched all the time. And if you don't have all this worked out, then you're just yet another person pitching them. I need an agent. I need a manager. Well, why? Why should I bother with you? But if you build it, they will come. So if you you get really clear on who you are, what makes you unique, who's most likely to appreciate what you offer. That's another side of it, of like, who is your ideal customer or fan, and speak their language. When you're talking on social media, you want them to feel like you're talking directly to them because you get them. And that's what draws them in. And so when you draw the audience, the fans, the customers, the industry and media will come because they'll want to be part of it.
Of course.
Or it's an easier sell if you are pitching yourself because you have the stuff to back it up.
So it's, as you said, until you know who you are and why you do it, I mean, it's so difficult to sell yourself. Even the very easy, basic question, what do you do? Sometimes it's so difficult to answer because you do a bit of this and that, but why do you do it? Do you really know why you do it? And it becomes almost, you should have the confidence to know exactly where you want to get. And then, as
especially
you said,
if you're multi-passionate like us, it's like, what do you do? Oh, I do this and I do this and I do this and I do this and I do this.
Yes, but there are several ways to say it, because you can show the shopping list, the grocery list. I do this and that. And if you know why you do it, everything is connected, because even the most different fields are eventually connected, and you know only if you know yourself very well.
That's what I believe too, because then it took me a while to realize that I've changed careers, but my purpose has always been the same.
Exactly. There's that connection.
Behind everything was I wanted to help artists succeed.
Exactly. So, and you follow different steps. I mean, you started actually with being a makeup artist, fashion stylist, all the things around just the figure, or I mean, the image of the artist. And then you started going deeper. Already the publicist is another step. And now the coach. I mean, you, of course, probably there were needed steps for you as well, of course, to be successful.
I wouldn't have the confidence back then to do what I do now. You know, especially as a photographer and the makeup artist, I could really hide. But more and more, you have to kind of put yourself out there, and it's hard when you're an introvert and you're not that confident. But when you go through and figure out what your purpose is and why, and experience,
of course,
it's less scary. This is who I am. This is my story. And also, like, I think no matter what you do, when you asked me what I do, I didn't just say I'm a coach.
Yeah.
You know, and so
it would be so reductive. Yeah. So,
or a fashion designer, you don't want to just like, okay, you're at this networking event or this conference or festival, and you're there to network, and you're in a room full of actors, and everyone says, I'm an actor. Okay. That's boring. Next. But if you were to say, you know, oh, I'm an actor because when I was young, I was, you know, maybe I experienced trauma, maybe whatever it was.
Yeah, whatever is the story behind.
Drew you to, like, for me, my why is when I was young, I experienced trauma, and I was drawn to the world that musicians and actors and performers created for us. So my world was music and films and television, and I wanted to be a part of those television families. And so
was it for you a way to heal yourself as well?
Yeah, well, it was a way to escape my reality. And then also, because I was so shy, performers were they seemed so extroverted and full of personality and just really putting themselves out there. So I admired that. And then when it came time to, okay, what am I going to do for a living? My counselor couldn't care less about me because I wasn't a straight A going to university to be a doctor kind of person. So, oh, do you want to be a secretary or like whatever bullshit like things they offered me? And I'm like, that isn't it. And so I literally went through my Pat Benatar tour book, went to the credits going, okay, I need to work something in entertainment and in the arts. So what am I going to do? And I saw photographer. So I decided, okay, I'm going to be a photographer. I don't have a camera, but like that was just my way in. And so, but then did all the training for photography, but I always wanted to shoot actors and performers and fashion models. And then same with makeup. I, did all kinds of makeup, but I was always going on video shoots and doing big fashion shows and doing photography shoots and being able to be free and expressive, but also helping these artists put themselves out there. And same with publicity. It's again,
it could have been any field, actually, any kind of customer, but you still were more attracted by this word. So you had it very clear from a very young age, if you think, because I think we always know. And then bit by bit, we add puzzles to the knowing and everything becomes clearer. But we need several steps, experience, as you said, because without that, and I think the experience, how do you get experience? You push yourself, right? To grow, to try things. But if you don't push yourself, you can be in your corner, but you can be there all your life, of course. But if you experience things on you, then you can, of course, help others in whatever field you choose. Now you chose a very artistic one, and I'm sure it's a source of inspiration constantly, of course, to work with these kind of people.
And then I also realized that now working with artists, a lot of them are introverts and they struggle with it too. So my childhood thing of like, oh, they're all just out there. But that's how I can help them even more, because I get you.
Exactly.
I get artists, and I am one myself, right? So I just love that coaching is so personal, such on a connection, where that works with me too, because I'm much better one-on-one than in a group. I think anyone who's ever worked with me on the coaching level will say that it's life-changing. Like they've had
these breakthroughs. Yes. Until you get there, I mean, you cannot say that you grew and solved whatever was the thing that you wanted to fix or help with. And it's so liberating to feel that you at a breakthrough, aha moment.
And then part of it too is believing what you want is possible. So a lot of times we're working towards this, but we don't really believe it's possible. And so sometimes going through what it is you really want, why do you want it, what is your purpose, what is the motivation behind it, then it kind of makes you go, oh, it's possible. And also to have, I would say I'm a combo coach / consultant, because I do have the PR and marketing knowledge. I think anyone who's ever worked with me on the coaching level will say that it's life-changing. Like they've had
these breakthroughs. Until you get there, I mean, you cannot say that you grew and solved whatever was the thing that you wanted to fix or help with. And it's so liberating to feel that you at a breakthrough, aha moment.
And then part of it too is believing what you want is possible. So a lot of times we're working towards this, but we don't really believe it's possible. And so sometimes going through what it is you really want, why do you want it, what is your purpose, what is the motivation behind it, then it kind of makes you go, oh, it's possible. And also to have, I would say I'm a combo coach / consultant, because I do have the PR and marketing knowledge that I could share with you, and the industry knowledge. And so but it's helping you figure out what path is right for you.
Mm-hmm.
It's not like telling you, oh, you got to do this, this, and this. It's like, well, you know, this is how I can help you put yourself out there more. And then figure out what is authentic to you.
Yeah, because to keep alive the motivation, it's important to remind ourselves, first of all, to find our why and be clear on that, but then remind ourselves constantly. Because as you said, sometimes we get entangled in the everyday administration of our business, and we don't really, especially in an artistic field, you should never feel that is a business, because otherwise the motivation to create reduces. At the same time, you have to do it. There's no way. I mean, a business is a business. Otherwise, it's called hobby. So nonetheless, you don't have to lose your why and the motivation.
It keeps you going, because we all have hard days, especially in the arts, where no matter how hard we try, it just doesn't seem to be working. Or you have this block that I put myself out there, or I think I am, and I'm still not getting the jobs or whatever it is. And so that's when people quit, if they're not clear on their why and their purpose.
Exactly. Yeah. Because I mean, you lose the energy and the strength, of course,
when you keep getting knocked down. And it's like, but if you're clear on your why, your purpose, it's like, okay, let's get back up.
Yeah, exactly. You fall because it's normal. I mean, yeah, as you said, there are bad days, so you fall. No matter what, it will happen. Yeah. But the why is your motivation to stand up and go again. Your resilience, determination to get to wherever your big dreams are. Because the other thing is, especially among artists, I saw that we tend to dream small, and that is not a big drive. Because if you dream small, you think the gap is not that big, so probably the push is not that strong. Right. At least is the way I see it. But the freedom to start dreaming big, you get there or not, it doesn't matter. But it is the drive.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, I think a lot of performing artists, I think they dream big, but they don't always realize what it takes to get there. Mm-hmm. And maybe they're not, when we get down to it, maybe you're not prepared to do the work to get there. Like not everyone,
like a surprise.
Yeah, it's like, well, like especially when it's actors and musicians, they dream of being the Oscar-winning actor, the world touring musician, and that's kind of the lottery. Like, or it can happen, but I look at J-Lo and wow, she works hard.
Yeah, exactly. Actually, by coincidence, you mentioned her, and I was watching. I love her, and it's true. I mean, and look, she's famous. She doesn't need it. She still works hard, and she did to get wherever she is.
Yeah, and she's multi-passionate.
Yeah.
And so even when you think, oh, I want to be J-Lo, and I want to dance, I want to sing, I want to have a fashion line, I have a beauty line, and like, but she didn't do it all at once. Now she does, but she built it out in layers. It wasn't like she, did all this when she was young. She was a dancer, then she was an actor, then she was a singer, then she was, and she built it out. And now she's at that level where she could do anything she wants. Now she's producing films and creating.
And also we are talking about the performing arts. We are talking about arts where you need a lot of practice. So they cannot happen in a day. I mean, you don't become an actor like this because you are talented. Yes, wait, but still you need to work on that.
And also there are those people that seem to come out of nowhere and they hit it big. But that's the lottery. That's the exception, not the rule.
Yeah, but still probably a story, an untold story behind that. Because I don't personally believe in the overnight success in any field.
Yeah.
Less probably in the performing arts, because you don't wake up one morning and you are an actor.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Or a singer. I mean, still you need to get there.
Yeah. I just read Billy Porter's book.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know him, Billy Porter? And what struck me, especially as I was finishing the book, was it's really only been a couple of years of him being super famous and making money and being respected for who he was. And so, wow, that was a 35-year, work in progress, because he's about 52, and only in the last, because he talks about getting the show Pose in 2017, 2018. That's not that long ago.
Yeah.
And yes, he's had success here and there, but it wasn't consistent success. It's like he made it big on Broadway, but then right after Kinky Boots, all he was offered was other drag queen roles. And it's like, that's not what he wants to do. So it wasn't like he won the Tony and Grammy and then he's been famous and successful ever since. It's like, no, then it was back down.
Yes.
And then now it's back. And now it's at a time where people will accept who he is. And he's like, it was an interesting book to see how much he's struggled over his whole life. And by the end, you're like, damn, he deserves what he's getting now.
Exactly. Exactly. Because we tend to say, oh, but look at he cannot even do whatever he does very well. And he came from nowhere. Yeah. But if you know, of course, it's, 35 years of work in progress is a long time. And also I remember of all these examples, I don't know, KFC who became famous, I don't know, whatever age, another famous who became famous very late in life. And not because, again, they woke up that day. It's exactly, they got there because probably they got knocked down so many times, but still they never stopped.
They just kept going and going. And especially when you're different, like, Billy Porter, he's, a gay, flamboyant Black man, and he was bullied and like not accepted. And in every role, he was always told, okay, tone it down. And finally, when he got Pose, he just automatically toned it down. And it was the first time the director went, we need you to don't hold back.
Come on.
Be yourself. And it was like, finally, people are appreciating who he really is.
Yeah, his true self. Yeah.
So that's the importance too, to stay true to yourself. Don't let the people knock you down, and keep going no matter what. Because at some point, people are going to accept you.
Exactly. Also, because if you tend to please others and leave their expectations, either you have a miserable life, or at some point you'll explode, because it's not natural. You need to find yourself and live who you are. And I think in society we teenagers already do that, and then we try to stop it, and then we expect by magic that they do it again later in life. And then no, it's not so easy. Yeah,
because what are you going to be when you grow up?
Yeah,
I could never have told you this was my life.
Yeah.
What are you going to be when you grow up? I don't know. I want to be an artist. I want to be this. I want to be that. I want to be this, and all these dreams. And then the adults go, well, no, you can't do all that.
Yeah.
Like, you got to pick one thing. What are you going to be?
A real job. What's the real job?
Yeah.
Yeah, my real job that my parents chose for me was a teacher, primary school teacher. It didn't work the way they wanted. I'm sorry for them. I'm very happy for myself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
My mother supported what I was doing, but I don't think she realized what that meant, like to be an artist. Like I think I even went to photography school thinking, well, you get out and you get a job as a photographer. They didn't teach you how to actually run your own business. And
of course, that is all on you. Yeah.
And so like, I think that's probably why my mother was supportive, because follow your dreams. But she didn't realize, and I didn't realize that meant, oh, that's a lot of struggle. That's a lot of figuring out your own business. Because again, 2 years of photography school, there was no talk about how to actually run a business.
There wouldn't be time. I mean, they teach you how to take good pictures, in which case you have to put your passion as well, because the technicalities they teach you are not enough still.
Yeah.
And on top of that, you need to learn how to make a business out of it.
Yeah. And yeah, there was a marketing class, but it wasn't necessarily how to market your photography or art. It was the typical college marketing class where you learn about Coca-Cola promotion.
Examples of whatever else.
Yeah. So yeah, I think if she knew, she wouldn't have encouraged me to do all the things that I'm doing, because now my life makes her uncomfortable.
Yeah. Why? I mean, in the end, I think if you are happy and successful and living your real purpose, I think you got there. You won.
It's an unpredictable life, and I guess I've gotten used to it.
Yeah.
That takes time, right?
But that's the beauty of life, actually. I always think that is an adventure. Thank God. Imagine to have something exactly the same or with the future already written for you. I mean, where's the point?
Yeah. And a lot of people live that way. Of how we started this conversation, live with passion. Yeah. A lot of people live that way, of like their whole life is mapped out. Yeah. And maybe
don't you think, do you think these kind of people will get sooner or later, maybe very late in life, to a moment where they say, well, I want to be myself, or maybe they don't even realize?
I think it depends. I think we've talked before about cultural things, like I don't have that, but you know, if they're in a certain culture and family where it's expected that you get married, have children, get a job, or even the man makes the money, whatever it is, it's I've talked to people who find that hard to break free of
break the pattern.
And disappoint family, disappoint others' expectations.
There's a lot to fight against. It's not just your will in the end. It's all the expectations of others. Realize. So probably, I don't know if it's better to realize that you are living based on the expectations of others, or better you don't even realize what you do, because it can be a struggle.
And I think there are people that are perfectly happy.
Yeah, of course. We're not saying
with that life.
Of course, definitely.
And there are people who don't have a lot of passion. Like, I don't understand those people, but it's like
me neither.
But there are people who don't really know what they want to do. They don't have a passion. They just get this job because, well, it's a job. Like, and maybe I've also talked to some people who they want that. They're okay with the job, makes good money, and it allows them to do what they want in their free time. Maybe it allows them to travel. Maybe it allows more personal life. And so I get that, but it's just not me. Like it's not, I have too many passions.
You need to wake up in the morning and get excited.
Yeah. And also, like, I've had those jobs where you hate going to work every day.
Yeah.
And I've
My
learned I
goodness,
can't.
it's terrible to wake up in the morning with that knot in the stomach and say, oh no, come on, I don't want to go there again. And you hope for a catastrophe so you don't go to work like at school.
And that's always when I've usually, before I would stay in jobs longer than I should have, but that's usually the point where I go, I got to do something. I got to figure something out to get out of here. And then I think now I've gone over the edge, and now I haven't had a real job in, I don't know, 18 years. So now I couldn't do it anyways.
Well done. Well done.
So yeah, I can't imagine like going to a job 10 to 6 every day and doing what other people tell me to do.
Okay, that is the best part. Although, I mean, of course, there are many people who need that because it's sort of, secure cocoon, let's say. Although, I mean, it's perfectly fine, but it's not for everyone.
Yeah.
I didn't realize.
I want to encourage the people that they do have passions. They do have these things, but they're afraid to leave that job. They hate that job, and they want to do this creative thing. Those are my people. Those are the people I can help. It's that, build the confidence. And it's like, you don't have to give up. You don't have to go from this full-time secure job to
Yeah, because of course real life is out there, right? We have responsibilities, we have to face and pay the bills. So sometimes it's not possible to just wake up one morning and hand in your notice. Nonetheless,
but there are steps you can take of how you can maybe do something on your free time, then build things up, have it be a side hustle, side gig, and then as it gets more and more successful, then you can rethink that full-time job. Then maybe find a part-time job, or something that maybe makes less money, but it gives you the freedom to do your other thing.
I always thought that either you need a job that pays you but a lot that you can you don't know the zeros of your wage, or has to be something worth it to wake up every morning. Either of the two, because if you have a lot of money, then you have a lot of money to invest maybe on a passion, on a side hustle or whatever. But to have a bad job, and even without a badly paid, that is often the case, is worse. But sometimes we don't have a choice, I understand. But thanks to you, we have a hope.
Yeah. I'm always hopeful.
Okay. And I always ask my guests, apart from our Live with Passion we started with, is there any word or quote that resonates with you in your private life or professional life?
I always have the words, my dreams are bigger than my comfort zone in my head.
Yes.
To me, I heard that from Jasmine Star. And so I find she's very inspiring to me. But it's like, she didn't come up with that, but it's like, I have her voice in my head. My dreams are bigger than my comfort zone. Because she's a social media person, and she would say too that I don't want to do these videos. I'm an introvert. You'd never believe it, but I am. But my dreams are bigger than my comfort zone. And I'm like, yes, that's it. That's what keeps me going. And when there are things that I realize that I'm holding myself back from something, my dreams are bigger than my comfort zone.
Yeah, this is the perfect quote. I really like it. I'm going to print it big.
I was going to say, like, I want a t-shirt. My dreams are bigger than my comfort zone.
Of course. As well. That's great. Well, Diane, thanks a lot for this lovely conversation. I just want to remind everyone that all the details to reach out are in the post in bio, on YouTube, on my website, everywhere. So easy to reach out to ask the help of the expert.
Yes, and I want to offer your viewers, your listeners, if they resonated with anything that I've said, I would offer them a free introductory coaching session.
That's very generous of you. Thanks a lot.
And it's a way of like seeing if we're a match to work together, but also let's explore what it is you want and see if there's a path that I can help you get there. So that's at dianefoy.com/booking. Book an appointment.
Yeah, definitely. We will put everything, especially this great offer. Thanks a lot. Thank you again. I love you and leave you. See you soon. And thanks again, Diane. Bye.
Bye.